Hello and welcome to Masterful Chats. I'm Rebecca Lovett, and I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Masterful Chats are short, clear, concise, clarifying conversations designed to uplift, empower, and support you as you move forward on your spiritual path and in your life's journey. In today's chat, I'm going to be talking about my near-death experience. Some of you have requested a little bit more information as to that experience, and so I'm happy to provide that to you. But first, I'd like to tell the new subscribers and the new people viewing my channel a little bit about myself. I am an information synthesizer, a mystical scholar, and an intuitive. And I believe with my entire heart and being that we are each a beloved child of God, known completely, totally, and loved beyond measure. Please remember to stay to the end of the video because I will be offering you a spiritual tip or tool to help you move through your days with more ease and grace and peace. And so now let's chat about my near-death experience. I was in my mid-20s and I suffered a traumatic injury, an abdominal injury. And this injury impacted my liver. And the liver, if you don't know, holds approximately 15% of the body's blood supply at any one time. And so when this injury occurred, I felt a tremendous amount of heat, and I placed my hand over my abdomen, and literally my blood with every beat of my heart was pulsating out of my body. I didn't feel any pain because I'd gone into shock immediately. I took one step forward and then the next step, and I fell flat on my face. And as I lay there on the ground, I could literally feel the blood pulsing out of my body. And I thought to myself, "You're going to die, Rebecca. This is it. You're going to die." And then I thought of my mother, who had already lost 2 daughters, and I thought of my 2 brothers and everything they had been through as well. And I said to myself, "Stop being so melodramatic. You have to come back from this. You must survive this. You will survive." Well, the paramedics arrived, and luckily, 4th level trauma unit had been built within, I'd say, a mile or 2 of my house. So I remember being put into the ambulance, and I was so cold. I was literally freezing and shaking. And we got to the hospital, and I was wheeled into the emergency room, and they took out my contacts, and the nurse asked if I could move my feet. And I never even had thought that I couldn't move my feet, but I had walked, but they were checking, and yes, I could wiggle my toes and my feet. So that was good because it could have impacted my spine as well. But it didn't. So the next step was to wheel me into theater, and the lights were bright, and I was so cold. And I went into theater at about midnight, and I got out at about 7:30 the next morning. And I was in recovery for several hours, and when they were wheeling me into the ICU, my heart stopped. And of course, I didn't remember anything after being put into the surgical theater, and I didn't know anything about being in recovery. But I found myself immediately surrounded by this luminescent, translucent, fairy dusty white. My entire being encompassed and saturated in this luminescent white light. It just sparkled. And I was so warm And I was being bathed with love and light. My entire consciousness was still there. I felt like I was looking out with my eyes. I could see everything. I could hear. I could feel the sensations of energy. I just didn't have my body. And what I felt was a love that was so complete and total and absolute. Never in all of my years on earth had I ever experienced this level of love and acceptance. There was no fear. There was no want. There was no pain. There was a peace. There was a knowing that I was part of God and that God was part of me, and I was part of all that is, and all that is part of me. And it made such perfect sense to me. I'd never felt like I belonged on earth. I'd always felt, for lack of a better term, like an alien. I felt like I didn't belong in my family. I definitely didn't fit in the years I was at school. I always felt I was kind of in no man's land. I just didn't quite fit. Other people seemed to fit, but I didn't. But I fit here. I fit in heaven. And any sense of not being good enough or not being enough, well, it wasn't there. There was only abundance and love and well-being. And I just gazed through the ethers, and I just soaked it all up. And then suddenly, I was thrust back into my body. I had tubes in every orifice, copious amounts of IVs. I was on a ventilator. I was miserable. And I was really angry at myself that I had come back. I was really, really mad. And I was mad at myself more than anything, that I had decreed that I would come back, that I would survive. But there I was. But that did begin a journey to complete wholeness, health, and well-being. Because I knew what being one with God felt like. And I truly believed that I could have that same experience on earth in this body if I just did whatever it took to get there. And that's what I did. That isn't saying that it was easy, because when you heal yourself, there are things in your life that can't remain. When you have to challenge belief systems and hand-me-downs of boxes of beliefs and filters of perception, when you challenge the family wallpaper, as I call it, that can create issues, and it can bring loss. But we're each here to reunite with God, to bring heaven to earth. And we have to heal ourselves and our families and our communities one person at a time. And I realized then, like never before, that I had to heal myself. And so I began that journey. And there have been tremendous costs along the way. And it hasn't necessarily been very pretty at times. I've had tremendous health challenges and financial challenges. I've had tremendous family challenges at times. But I have been completely supported and sustained by Spirit. I have had people along the way who have truly seen me and supported me and loved me with all of my warts and all of my feelings. And I have accomplished what I came here to do. I have healed myself, and it's still an ongoing process. I have healed my family bloodlines. And I do have a fully functioning light body. A light body is an energetic spiritual body, which every human has. It allows us to be one with the universal field of all that is and to co-create with that universal field of love. But we need to clear out our energy field, and we need to let go of our baggage and the things that no longer serve us to become fully Christed beings of light. And so my mission is really ongoing. If I can help but one person have a brighter day or a better day, if I can make your spiritual awakening and your road a little bit easier than mine, then I've done what I came to do. And that makes me really, really happy. So know that we're all in this together. And know that I really wish you well. And that I only want the best for you. Everything is placed in our path for our spiritual growth and our awakening to wholeness. And a lot of my path was difficult and was challenging and was painful. But I always kept my eye on the prize. And I always felt so blessed that I knew what the prize was. That I had been fortunate enough to experience that communion with God. And many people on earth have them. And it doesn't have to be a near-death experience. There are a multitude of other ways that we can be in that oneness. But what I'd like to share is that you are known by God. You for you. You are known by your energetic signature by God. And you are completely loved and adored beyond measure. And death is merely a transmutation of energy. You may lose the body, but the soul is intact and the consciousness is intact. And from my experience, there is absolutely nothing to fear. And in fact, in the times when I was at my lowest and in despair, in the years following my near-death experience, I would close my eyes and I would go back to those moments that I was on the other side with God. And I would bathe myself in that love and that light. And that would give me the courage and the fortitude and the will to move ahead. Know that you are very, very loved. The spiritual tip for today is simply to breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just do that 3 times a day, very consciously. The breath is the prana. It is the life force. So just breathe. Once again, I'd like to say thank you for chatting with me today. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Take care of yourselves. Until we chat again, blessings.